This is the Butlins Skegness Resort, a typically family-orientated and sometimes all-inclusive resort located along the Skegness coastline in the East Midlands of England in the United Kingdom. This resort was home to our typical annual trip away to the Butlins Big Weekenders. If you've ever been to one of these, you'll know that they are truly crazy. If you've never been to one of these before, this is essentially when Butlins becomes adults only. Everyone wears crazy costumes and gets absolutely hammered, all whilst raving to a selection of DJs, artists and tribute bands. Welcome everyone to my first ever video about Butlins in Skegness.
You're scratching a bit further forward.
I think it's fair to say I'm not exactly dressed for the occasion, am I? For a weekend away in October in Skegness. So let's change to something a bit more appropriate. I mean, this is more accurate than the last outfit. You definitely need this many coats in Skeggy, but definitely not when you're inside those tents at Butlins. How about something like this? Now this is a lot more like Butlins. Butlins in Skegness typically consists of the bronze, silver and gold apartments. I have stayed in both the silver apartments and the gold apartments in the past, and admittedly, the silver ones are actually better because they were more recently renovated. I have got a short on my YouTube channel showing you all the way around that room, so feel free to give that one a watch. It's fair to say that the gold apartments are long overdue some refurbishment. Plenty of things being damaged, grubby and dusty. If you are new to the Butlins Big Weekenders, be prepared if you stay in one of those apartments that people will be partying all day and all night, so good luck getting any sleep. Not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, we've all got to have fun whilst we're there after all, but just keep in mind that if you fancy going to bed at night, the apartments probably aren't the best thing for you. But this time, we didn't actually stay in any of the apartments. We stayed on the Caravan Village side in the Maple Walk Caravan Village, where we stayed in a premium chalet.
Just to interrupt myself, it's not actually a chalet, it's a lodge. I keep doing that throughout the video, and I cannot be bothered to get back into that scarecrow costume, so whenever I say chalet, I mean lodge.
Well, here we are at the Butlins Premium Chalet. As you can see, we've got double car parking directly next to the chalet, which is great, because at the apartments you do not get car parking directly next to your place at all. You end up having to walk quite a bit.
Hey! What a geezer! Whoa!
As you can see, it's pretty well spaced and you're pretty far away from everybody else as well, so you can pretty much get away with making as much noise as you want with almost no consequences. For us, we ended up getting given an accessibility-friendly one, which is obviously no problem for us, but it meant that we got a set of stairs as well as a ramp as well, and I'll tell you a bit more about the inside as well, the sort of subtle differences compared to what a standard chalet would have. It did make me chuckle that it gave you a warning about the steps being slippery on the ramp. It's at this point here I discover that my friends have actually locked me out, so we've magically spawned inside now, so we've got a nice big TV there which we plugged the Fire Stick into for the music. Got a nice sofa area there as well as a table and chairs. On the right hand side as well we can see we've got a nice L-shaped sofa which was great for relaxing on in the evening. Kitchen wise, we've got a microwave with a big piece of metal in it apparently. We never used it so we don't know if it would explode. We've got an iron in there in that cupboard up there which was good. Empty cupboard down here, nothing in there. Top drawer, all your standard cutlery and stuff. 3 saucepans in that one, and I'll tell you a bit more about that one when I'm back in the studio. Dishwasher there. Kettle, toaster, coffees, bowls, plates, mugs, glasses, all that sort of stuff. They gave us loads of coffees, 2 milks, no tea bags and no sugar, so that didn't really go down very well. Got a glass tray there, don't mind the Copperberg box on top of the hob, that was removed quite quickly. The oven and the hob were both gas ones, and there was an extractor fan as well with an electric hob. Fridge, whilst it's got some Copperbergs and water in there, it'll be more full in a second. We've got the bin and the dustpan and brush and stuff like that in there. Freezer, worked perfectly fine. And I don't know what this is.
Oh!
broke it. I don't know how. I don't know what it's there or why it's so easy to break. But this is what I was on about the fact that it's accessible on the inside. All the doors are sliding doors rather than your standard pull-out ones, and the shower itself was at standard floor height. No stepping into it or anything like that. In the main room, we've got a window out there to nosy on our neighbours, but we've also got the ironing board that we just saw. No TV in here, unfortunately, but there is a mirror in there, and you can see some sort of accessibility aid there as well. There's a hairdryer. Hello. This is the second bedroom with twin beds in it this time. My only complaint that my friend had was that it was a little bit too short.
Oh yes!
See what I mean? In inspiration of a YouTuber that I do like, Walk With Me Tim, this bathroom would fit 3 people into the shower. Don't mind the suspicious stain on the floor, we don't know what it was.
Admittedly, the main problems that we did face when we stayed in our premium chalet were in the kitchen. Primarily, for the 3 nights that we stayed, there was only 1 frying pan. I don't know how you meant to make a full English breakfast every morning with just 1 frying pan, which, to be fair, wouldn't be too bad if they'd given us more than 1 dishwasher tablet. We were given just 1 dishwasher tablet to last us for 3 nights. So naturally with that, we then had to go out and buy our own sponges, washing up liquid, or equally we could have gone and bought our own dishwasher tablets, but the price of them in the on-site shop, it wasn't worth it. As well as just having 1 frying pan, there was only 1 oven tray, 2 pizza trays for some reason, and there was also no oven gloves. We found ourselves making our breakfast on the first morning using a towel to take the tray out of the oven, which, to be honest, probably isn't the safest thing to do. As well as that, we also ended up finding a cracked glass in one of the cupboards, so it's very clear that those cupboards weren't checked to see if everything was still in an alright condition. And even worse than that, when looking for an oven tray to use one of the days, we spotted that one of the pizza trays in the cupboard still had what appeared to be days old bacon stuck to it, which was absolutely lovely to find when making breakfast on Monday morning. So just keep in mind that whilst the rooms themselves were very, very well cleaned, check the kitchen. I don't think they really look after it all that well. Ah, yes, scran, an essential part of every Butlins weekender. After a hard day of recovering from hangovers, playing games, and just simply having way too many free drinks. The Butlins Resort in Skegness has a large variety of food options, including the diner, which serves American-style barbecue food, the Beachcomber Inn, which serves your pub classics like your steaks, carveries, pies, lasagna, etc. There's also a Papa John's pizza restaurant, takeaway, and buffet. The Firehouse Grill, which is essentially just a fake Nando's. Rock and Soul Fish and Chip Takeaway, which serves proper chippy scran right the way until the early hours of the morning. Trust me, that hits different at 2 a.m. As well as 4 buffet restaurants. These include the Coral Beach, the Coast, the Deck, and the Yacht Club, which, admittedly, other than the Deck, we didn't actually realise that the other 3 existed until we left. Sorry, can you tell I'm still used to this whole traveller YouTube thing?
I know, ironic isn't it after what I said earlier?
They also had a Costa Coffee on site, Scoop Ice Cream Parlour, which for the last few years that we've been seem to have been closed every time, as well as a Burger King and a Chopsticks Chinese takeaway. On night 1 of our trip, we planned to go to the Papa John's Pizza Buffet. However, there was a problem. We went out for food at 8 o'clock. Fairly standard time to go out for a meal, I must say. But the problem was, every single proper sit-down restaurant that we tried to find was closed. We even had a staff member recommend the Deck restaurant to us. We walked all the way over to it, and it was closed. So, first night, we had to settle for the on-site Burger King. Me and the missus ordered a bacon cheeseburger, and I had a XL bacon cheeseburger. Which, to be fair, I didn't mind, but the missus wasn't a big fan because the bacon was grey. I will admit it did look a bit sus. The real shocker for me though, however, was that we paid 15 quid for what was quite a small burger and then quite a reasonably sized burger. So just keep in mind that you can't use any of the app's discounts or your loyalty code or anything like that. So you are paying top whack if you have to eat there. So after the food disaster of night one, we were sure to head out plenty earlier for food on night two. So that's exactly what we did. We went out for food at around 6:30, and this time there were plenty of options for us to get into a restaurant. Again, we planned to go to the Papa John's buffet pizza restaurant. However, yet again, it was closed. After the event, we saw online that it said it was closed, but every time that we looked online whilst we were there, we couldn't find a single thing. So maybe we're rubbish at researching, maybe Butlins needs to update their website. Don't know. So for night two, we ended up going to the Firehouse Grill, which, as I say, this was essentially Butlins' own fake version of Nando's. We ended up having 2 sharer platters of boneless chicken breasts, thighs, popcorn chicken, and 8 sides, which consisted of corn on the cob, spicy rice, fries, and cheesy garlic bread with the standard selection of Nando-style glazes and dips as well, which, to be honest, make for a really good, delicious option. We would definitely eat there again, especially because it only cost about 20 quid each, and that included bottomless drinks. So, obviously, when we had the bottomless drinks, none of us had any refills at all of the full fat Cokes. Obviously, nobody would do that. Finally, on the great subject of Scran, I'll tell you about my favourite place for 2 AM snacks. Don't get me wrong, the Chippy place was brilliant for some late night food, but our favourite was the Fat Pasty Shack. This place was serving sausage rolls and pasties all night long until all of the bars had closed. I had the chicken and chorizo pasty at 1 AM on night one, and I have to admit, it was amazing. Whether or not it was amazing because it was 1 AM, don't know. Can't get it during the day, they're only open at night, but the pasty was that good, I think I'll be having dreams about it. Now for one of my favourite topics for any weekend away with friends, the drinks. So whilst I sort you through them, I'm going to make one of my favourites. Nah, not really, not this time. It was a lot more simple this time when at Butlins. No fancy cocktails here, just cans of hooch. However, you do want to watch a video of me making my favourite cocktail, which is the Pina Colada, why not check out my Rio Carambola review? Right in the middle of it, I tell you all about the drinks and make my own Pina Colada, so why not give it a watch? It's nice and simple, cans of hooch were my go-to during Butlins, for ease and for taste of course. Each of the bars on the Butlins Big Weekender have got your standard array of beers on tap, as well as ciders. Also, they have quite a lot of different types of cans and bottles, such as Recorderlig and Madry. They also had various types of spirits, again, just like we've got up here. All the different types of gin, pink gin, vodka, Malibu. I think they had the exact same rum as us, so I think Butlins might have been copying some ideas from us in here. I will say just one thing though. The vast majority of the bars, they were all really friendly. It just took quite a while to queue up. I will admit we were queuing one day for at least half an hour. It felt like we'd sobered up by the time that we got to the front. But at one of the bars inside of the Silent Disco on one of the nights, tried to get a can of hooch. Was able to get them absolutely anywhere, and I know that they definitely had them in that bar. But sadly, one staff member looked at me as if I'd asked him to write a 1,500-word essay on the history of hooch. And basically told me not to convenience him for 2 minutes whilst he grabs some more from the stock room directly behind him. So yeah, just keep that in mind that those bartenders they're rushing about. So if you're asking for something they've not got, or if you're asking for a cocktail, they might not be very friendly. Each of the different music venues on site have their own bars. The best music venue for getting your drinks was in Studio 36. So if any music that you want to go see is inside Studio 36, or if you don't know where to go, just head inside Studio 36. They've got the big giant bar on the outside, and then once you enter the main music area, they've got a mini bar at the back where they'll grab your cans out of the fridge, very short queues, and they've got the exact same on the right hand side at the far end as well. So if you want to grab a drink, that place is the easiest place to get hold of one. Outside of the music venues themselves, you could grab alcoholic drinks at various different bars, and these include the Jellyfish Lounge, the Skyline Bar, the Hot Shots Bar, which in the evening becomes the Silent Disco, as well as the Beachcomber Inn, which my friends said were basically like the equivalent of a Butlins version of Wetherspoons, just without the Wetherspoons prices, unfortunately. That is one area I will cover. For the four of us, a round of drinks for four people was at least 25 quid every time. So, yeah, you might want to get your pre-drinks in before you go out. Yeah, quite a variety of different acts of music on. We ended up seeing a member of the Sugar Babes. We ended up seeing an Oasis tribute called Showasis. We ended up seeing McBusted, which was a McBusted tribute, as well as a comedy show, all of which they were really, really good in fairness. Admittedly, we've been to ones in the past where they had a bigger variety of music, but for us, one of our favourite parts of it is the silent disco. And I know some of you who haven't been to a silent disco will laugh. But the one that they do at Butlins is really, really good because the headphones, they change colour depending on what channel you're listening to. You've got two DJs trying to outdo each other. So when you're absolutely slaughtered at 1 o'clock in the morning and you're shouting at your mate, "Change to red! Change to red!" It's absolutely hilarious. And finally, outside of that, there is also the pool party. That takes place on the Saturday night.
Not Saturday night, Saturday morning.
Between 11 AM and 2 PM. I know it might be hard to wake up first thing on the Saturday morning after your first night, but make sure that you attend it. It's a good laugh. Waterpark itself is pretty cool in fairness. They've renovated it quite recently. And it consists of a sort of circular pool in the middle. You can walk off to the side and they've got giant buckets that'll tip lots of water onto your head. There's lots of sort of water cannons and things spraying water at you in every direction. They've also got a wave pool there, which I absolutely love wave pools. They're like going in the sea when the waves are crazy, but without the water tasting of salt. It's brilliant. And then they had a lazy river as well. Admittedly, they were a bit short and none of it went outside or anything. They have got a part that goes outside, but it's obviously closed during the autumn and winter times. You'd freeze. It is England after all. But it is a good laugh, and it's definitely worth doing. With the water park, we did see online afterwards that apparently there was some sort of cafe there, but when we went, we couldn't find it. There was no way of getting a drink or anything whilst you were inside, so don't imagine yourself being on your Spain holiday drinking cocktails by the pool. No, that's gonna happen. All in all, it was a really good trip and a great time to be spent with friends. And admittedly, I couldn't believe the price. We got the 3 nights for 80 quid each. So we've got accommodation over the weekend and entertainment for £80 each. I mean, a lot of hotels, you'll end up spending more than that just for one night stay on a Friday night with no entertainment at all. Would definitely recommend this. It's worth doing. It is an absolute laugh, especially if you've got a group of mates that you can go with. If you take it at face value, it's a brilliant laugh, and you get to dress up like scarecrows. Thank you very, very much everybody for watching this video and for staying to the end for as long as I've been in this scarecrow outfit. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, leave a comment. Thank you very, very much for